Okay, supposedly this is recording my screen, and I'm going to be doing what I'm going to call uh, tech gore or tech porn, depending on how you look at it, because I'm running Windows 7 Ultimate Edition Service Pack 1, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the system I have. You go here and load up OBS, and it says it's recording, and we're 22 seconds, and I'm going to be showing what settings I'm using, just really quickly. General data here, yay. What about major disaster? Here's the stream data, which is nothing. I'm doing output as file. Here's the statements for it. Here's the recording data. It says MKV, throws it on the desktop. Exciting, wonderful. 128 kbits per second, etc. for track 1 through whatever. They're all 64-bit otherwise. And we have audio, and it shows I'm using microphone, and the desktop audio is mixed in. I just did that a minute ago. And video output is currently active. Please turn off any outputs to change video settings. No kidding. Hotkeys are as displayed. I have the pause, unpause as F10. Start and stop recording are F8 and F9. This is not normally how I do the other version. I have also a copy of another one called camstudio that's much more simplified. And I'm comparing them in these videos. And the final output will always be in MP4 format, usually at 1.5 megabytes per minute. Woohoo. Because we're dealing with basically a glorified mixed frame rate, variable frame rate slideshow. And then we just minimize that down. So let's talk about the system I have. It's a 8 gigabytes RAM computer, 64-bit OS. It's got 7.8 gigabytes usable because it shares the RAM with a video card, but that doesn't really mean that I have a little over a gigabyte of video RAM. It's almost 3 gigahertz. It's got more than one core. And if you're not aware of it, there is an upper speed limit on processors, not the video cards. Processors, in order to do complex instruction set processing, not RISC, it's kind of limited to 3 gigahertz because you run into all sorts of bottlenecks just caused by the speed of light time delay on the motherboard and propagation delays through silicon switching. Yeah, that's the thing. And this one's got, the standard mod of me sticking my stupid face into it as the OEM data. And again, Windows 7 Ultimate Service Pack 1. This one also take advantage of the Service Pack, the Windows 7 Ultimate files having a 32-bit and 64-bit version on it. It's the one that would have the starter edition of 7 or whatever it is, or home edition. And that allowed me to import some 32-bit code so this can run some, if not all, 32-bit software. It just doesn't admit it, but it's added in as a compatibility hack. I haven't done it in a long time. And just like many years before, this is yet another year where I'm going to take this 2009 operating system and this, 2009 laptop and upgrade it again to Windows 7 by doing a flat install and try to see if I can reproduce the previous glory. That and the fact that recently I forgot that HTML files are supposed to use a certain icon, so that's usually a sign it's corrupting itself, so I better do it soon. And the next one over from the right is our middle section, the device mangler, because device manager is not the word I ever use. And it shows only 2 exclamation points, a network controller that in all likelihood is either the Wi-Fi card being detected, even though I told the motherboard to disable it, and or it could be the Bluetooth card, or I might have just pulled them and it thinks they're there. And the unknown device is very likely the Trusted Computing Platform module and or other feature that was installed in it that I deliberately gave it a broken driver consisting of the words "fuck you, Microsoft," so that it wouldn't activate any kind of restrictions on it. And it's a totally legit version, Windows activated. I totally didn't alter this heavily. Anyway, it is computer named Mac Mini on generic work group, all caps, so that I was able to get it to work on a LAN party using Windows 3.1 DOS62 to play Duke Nukem and Doom. Long time ago. Fun story. Next we'll go over to the video display, which is 1366 by 768. You want at least 720 pixel for whatever you're doing. Video game capture, whether it's a window or full screen, minimum so that YouTube will shut up and actually put it in high resolution. Otherwise, if it's 1 pixel short, it'll reduce it down to, I don't know, 320p. I don't know. Anyway, so that's our basic tour of this gory experience of Windows 7. And that's really all there is to it. Not much to it. Also on the left here, in here would be, I would show off, if I had it enabled, the ability to tell it to use black and white 320 by 640 or some weird odd paging display where it would turn left to right and put up a page white display where everything would be right left flipped. So I would have to figure out how to move the mouse in weird space. But yeah, anyway, by the way, the trick to that is you rotate your mouse 90 degrees to the left or the right and move it that way, and it'll suddenly make sense. That's how I do it, because I cheat in life in every way I can when it comes to computers, because screw computers, being fair to them. So along with this being a test video of me using open broadcast software, I'm going to point out the version number is version number 25. I have various versions of it on my computer, and each one of them can be run one or the other or in parallel. I've made it to where it tolerates that. And it's able to, this one is the one I use for full screen video capture. The better version, or newer version, it's not really any better, is used for capturing video game activity, specifically Rust Legacy content where I'm doing, puttering around or running a server or whatever. And then the older version, which is like OBS, I call it 0. It's a different number, obviously, is used for capturing my videos that you see where it's just my head on screen. I don't use OBS to do multi-source information like a video camera and 2 screens and grabbing 2 windows and doing inserts and none of that. I also don't use much editing software. I use a bunch of random pieces of software for doing static images, like various versions of Paint. Yes, I have Windows 3.1.1 Paint all the way up through a copy of Windows 8, and got Windows 10 Paint to run long enough to realize I don't ever want to touch that again. And the real version of Paint that comes with Windows 7, I have only used today just to see why I just eliminated the shortcut and never use it. I literally use Windows Vista Paint or Windows 95 Paint or Windows XP Paint. I don't use anything above, even from Windows 7 up for that. As for the video editing and other software like burning DVDs and CDs, they're all random software I got from somewhere else. And yeah, the video editing software consists of random software named whatever. I have like 4 programs I'll run through this. Right now I'm using normally one utility to convert this into an MP4. Again, this one is in the mode where it'll do another format. So this will be a test to see if this does a decent job giving clarity, which this is a harsh test because of the extreme contrast, and whether or not it shows my my mouse cursor as being a real arrow or a dot. I normally enable it as a pinpoint on the screen so you can see what's going on the screen, and I'm usually doing stuff that requires some precision in what I'm doing. This is not one of those examples. Odds are it's going to show the again, I said thumbnail, the mouse cursor correctly. That would be nice if it worked continually. Most of the time, when a piece of software says it'll capture the mouse, it just captures the hourglass because reasons. Anyway, that's the video for today. This is your, 2-bit tour of my computer running Windows 7 Ultimate Service Pack 1 with a bunch of patches that are just not visible, and I'm not going to bother worrying about showing it all to you. And this is mostly, again, software porn or gore, depending on your opinion, Windows 7 in the year 2026. I'm using an operating system that's literally as old as the laptop it's running on, and it's working just fine, thank you. And I use this for my daily driver for everything. And the day I can't use some hack to make it work to where I don't have to upgrade, that's the day I will probably load up an even more bastardized version of Windows 7 and get around it. Maybe I'll finally upgrade to Windows 8 if I can find one that's been thoroughly gelded and no longer has the ability to do any bullshit without asking. Yeah, I can dream. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it, and apparently so will I. Bye.